If you eat eggs every morning because you want to protect your muscles, your brain, and your energy, please stay with me today. The egg itself is usually not the problem. What matters much more is what you eat with it, how you cook it, and what kind of health condition your body is already carrying. For many adults over 40, and especially for people in their 60s and 70s, a breakfast that looks healthy on the surface can quietly push up inflammation, blood pressure, or blood sugar if the overall combination is wrong. That is why today I want to help you look at eggs in a calmer and much more practical way. Not with fear and not with internet myths, but with the simple question that really matters. When does an egg support your body? And when does the meal around it make that support weaker? Eggs can be a very helpful food. They provide high-quality protein, vitamin B12, choline, and other nutrients that many older adults do not get enough of. They can help support muscle maintenance, satiety, and brain function. But even a nutritious food can become less helpful when it is paired with too much salt, too much sugar, too much saturated fat, or too little fiber. And if you already have kidney disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, swelling, or abnormal lab results, the right breakfast for you may need more careful planning than it did 20 years ago. I often hear people say, "I eat eggs every day, so I'm doing something good for my health. Why do I still feel puffy, tired, stiff, or heavy?" In many cases, the answer is not that the egg is bad. The answer is that the breakfast pattern is unbalanced. One person eats eggs with processed meat and a salty soup. Another eats eggs with sweet bread and a bottled coffee drink. Another eats eggs in a fried, oily meal with very little vegetable or fiber. The body is not responding to one ingredient. It is responding to the entire morning environment you create inside it. So today, let's go through 3 combinations to rethink, and 3 combinations that are often better choices for a calmer, steadier morning. The first combination to rethink is eggs with processed meats, such as bacon, sausage, ham, or heavily salted meat products. This is one of the most common breakfast patterns because it feels satisfying and convenient. But for many older adults, it creates a quiet burden. Eggs already provide protein and some fat. When you add processed meat, sodium rises quickly, saturated fat often rises, and the overall meal becomes much more inflammatory for people who are already sensitive to blood pressure or fluid retention. This does not mean that one breakfast will destroy your health. But when this pattern repeats again and again, the body notices. Blood pressure may be harder to control. Swelling may feel worse. Thirst may increase. Some people feel heavy and sluggish by late morning without understanding why. If you have been told to watch your sodium, if your ankles swell, or if your doctor has mentioned kidney strain, this combination deserves special caution. A better morning protein balance is often eggs with vegetables, rather than eggs with processed meat. The second combination to rethink is eggs with refined carbohydrates and sugary drinks. This includes white toast with sweet jam, pastries, sweet buns, sugary cereal, sweetened yogurt drinks, or canned coffee loaded with sugar. On the table, it may look harmless, but inside the body, it can turn a good protein source into a roller coaster breakfast. The egg may slow digestion a little, but if the meal is dominated by fast carbohydrates and sugar, blood glucose can still rise quickly and then drop, leaving you tired, hungry, and craving more food before lunch. This pattern is especially important for viewers who are worried about inflammation, belly fat, fatigue after meals, or rising HbA1c. A breakfast that combines protein with fiber and slower carbohydrates tends to be much gentler than a breakfast that combines protein with sugar and refined flour. Many people think they are eating lightly in the morning, but the body reads that meal as stress. If you often feel sleepy, shaky, or irritable after breakfast, this is one of the first places worth reviewing. The third combination to rethink is eggs inside a very salty, convenience-style breakfast. This can include instant noodles with egg, heavily seasoned rice bowls, pickles in large amounts, salty soup, or frequent use of soy sauce and packaged seasonings. Again, the issue is not the egg. The issue is that the egg becomes part of a high-sodium pattern. For someone with healthy kidneys and normal blood pressure, occasional salty meals may be tolerated. But for many adults over 40, and even more so for older adults, the repeated habit of a salty breakfast can quietly push the day in the wrong direction. You may notice puffiness in the face in the morning. Rings may feel tight. Blood pressure may run higher than expected. You may also feel thirsty all day and mistake that for normal aging. It is not always aging. Sometimes it is simply the breakfast routine asking to be adjusted. If you love eggs, keep the eggs, but reduce the salt around them. Now, let's move to the better side, because this is where the real power is. The first helpful combination is eggs with mushrooms and vegetables. This is one of the simplest and most balanced ways to eat eggs. Mushrooms such as shiitake, maitake, or shimeji add fiber, texture, and useful plant compounds. Vegetables such as cabbage, spinach, komatsuna, tomato, broccoli, or bell pepper bring volume, color, and antioxidants. Together, they help turn the egg from a heavy, isolated protein into part of a steadier meal. This kind of breakfast is often much easier on the body than eggs with processed meat. It supports fullness without relying on excess sodium. It gives the digestive system more variety. It helps the meal feel lighter, even when it is satisfying. A simple vegetable omelet, scrambled eggs with mushrooms, or a soft egg served with warm vegetables can work beautifully. If you have chronic kidney disease and have been told to limit potassium, the right vegetable choice may differ for you, so it is worth confirming with your clinician or dietitian. But for many people, eggs plus vegetables is one of the smartest upgrades they can make. The second helpful combination is eggs with fruit and a fiber-rich carbohydrate, especially something like apple and oats, or berries, with plain yogurt and a small portion of whole grain. Why is this useful? Because the egg gives protein and staying power, while the fruit and fiber help the meal feel more stable and more digestive-friendly. Many older adults struggle not only with blood sugar swings, but also with constipation, bloating, or a heavy stomach. A breakfast that includes both protein and fiber is often much kinder than a breakfast built around protein and refined starch alone. An apple does not work like a miracle medicine, and I do not want to exaggerate it. But a breakfast that includes fruit instead of sweet pastries and whole grains instead of white flour can change the rhythm of your morning in a very noticeable way. You may feel less foggy, less hungry, and less pulled toward snacking. Over time, those small changes matter more than dramatic promises ever do. The third helpful combination is eggs with modest portions of healthy fats and minimally processed foods. A drizzle of olive oil, a few slices of avocado if your potassium intake does not need restriction, or eggs served with tofu, vegetables, and plain rice in sensible portions can create a very calm, balanced breakfast. The key word here is modest. Too much fat can leave the stomach feeling heavy, but a small amount of healthy fat can improve satisfaction and help the meal feel complete. For some viewers, the better question is not which one food removes inflammation, but which breakfast pattern stops adding extra stress every day. That is the more honest and more powerful question. Inflammation often improves when blood sugar is steadier, sodium is lower, sleep is better, the gut is less irritated, and the overall diet becomes more balanced. No single food does all of that by itself. But a smarter breakfast can absolutely move you in the right direction. Now let's talk about cooking, because the same egg can feel very different depending on how you prepare it. Deep-fried eggs, eggs cooked in large amounts of butter, or eggs combined with heavy creamy sauces may taste wonderful, but they do not always sit well, especially for people who already deal with reflux, sluggish digestion, or discomfort after meals. On the other hand, boiled eggs, poached eggs, steamed eggs, and lightly cooked scrambled eggs are often easier choices for a regular routine. Some people say that a softer egg feels easier to digest than a very dry, overcooked one. That can be true for some individuals, although tolerance varies. The practical lesson is simple. If you feel heavy or bloated after eating eggs, do not immediately assume eggs are the enemy. First, look at portion size, cooking method, oil, salt, and what else is on the plate. There is also one more important point that deserves calm attention: medication timing. Many people take their morning medicines automatically, with breakfast, without ever asking whether that is the best plan. But medicines are not all the same. Some should be taken with food. Some should be taken before meals. Some interact with calcium, iron, fiber, or certain supplements. The safest rule is not to copy a neighbor or an online comment. The safest rule is to follow the label, your pharmacist, or your doctor's instructions. If you are taking blood pressure medicine, diabetes medicine, thyroid medicine, pain medicine, or kidney-related medicine, and you are unsure about timing, please ask. That question is worth asking. And if you already have reduced kidney function, significant swelling, foamy urine, poor appetite, rising creatinine, or you have been told to limit protein, potassium, phosphorus, or sodium, please do not copy a healthy breakfast from the internet without checking whether it fits your condition. Even good foods can become the wrong foods when the medical context changes. So what does a calmer breakfast actually look like? It can be surprisingly simple. 1 or 2 eggs prepared without too much oil, a serving of vegetables or mushrooms, a small portion of fruit, a sensible carbohydrate, such as oats or a modest amount of rice, or whole grain toast, depending on your needs. Seasoning kept gentle, sugary drinks avoided, processed meats limited. That kind of breakfast does not sound dramatic, but it respects the body much more than a flashy trend ever will. And I also want to gently correct one common misunderstanding. Some people become so afraid of cholesterol that they throw away the yolk and force themselves to eat only the white. In many cases, that fear is bigger than the real problem. The yolk contains important nutrients, including choline, and for many people it can fit perfectly well into a healthy diet. The bigger concern is often the overall pattern of the meal and the rest of the day, not the yolk by itself. Of course, Personal advice depends on your lab values, medical history, and what your own doctor has told you. But fear alone is not a good nutrition strategy. If you remember only one thing from today, let it be this: eggs are not automatically healing, and they are not automatically harmful. They are simply one food, and their effect depends greatly on the company they keep on your plate. Pair them with salty processed foods, sugary breakfast items, and convenience-style sodium, and they may become part of a routine that keeps your body under pressure. Pair them with vegetables, fiber, modest healthy fats, and a balanced morning pattern, and they can become a very useful ally. You do not need to change everything tomorrow morning. Just change one thing. Replace the processed meat. Add mushrooms. Swap the sweet bread for fruit and fiber. Reduce the salt. Ask about your medication timing. If you do that consistently, your body may begin to feel different in ways that are quiet but meaningful. Steadier energy, less puffiness, fewer cravings, and a more comfortable start to the day. And if your body has already been sending signals such as swollen legs, rising blood pressure, frequent fatigue, persistent digestive discomfort, or abnormal blood tests, please do not brush those signals aside. Let breakfast be the beginning of attention, not the substitute for real care. A good meal helps, but it does not replace a checkup. Thank you for staying with me until the end today. I hope this gave you a calmer and more useful way to think about eggs, inflammation, and kidney-friendly eating without fear and without confusion. Starting tomorrow, take one look at your breakfast and ask a simple question. Is this meal helping me feel steadier, or is it adding more stress than I realized? That one question can change much more than people think.